Good morning, what's going on guys? My name is Georgia Louise. I'm a girl in fantasy. I talk about photography, films and books on this channel, and today is kind of exciting because I'm just so intrigued and so curious to know how it unfolds. In today's episode, this week I was watching some videos about the Hunger Games simulator and it got me really thinking and intrigued and curious to know how it plays out for characters or fictional characters that I think are badass slash villains in the TV universe, like the TV realm. These fictional characters are from series that I have personally watched because I know more about them than just general villains of TV. I've actually shortened it down to 6 districts only because 12 is going to take way too long. So I thought we'll just stick with the 6, and I'm very curious to see how this unfolds because I've got the best slash most badass villains slash, like those character arcs where they start out innocent and then turn evil, or they're evil and they became innocent. So let's see how this unfolds. First, we have District 1. I've decided to go with the 100, Octavia Blake and Clark Griffin. If you've seen the 100, you know that Octavia was like a kid, teenager. She's a little bit more on the innocent side, and then she became one crew queen leader. And we've got Clark, who had to do what she has to do to survive. She was the leader from the very beginning. Then she turned into one-header, and mind blown for that. That was epic. I wasn't a fan of the last season, but we don't have to talk about that. So District 2, we've got Daisy Johnson and Leopold Fitz. Daisy, she was just a kid. I think they all were just a kid, but Daisy Johnson was just doing her own thing, looking for her biological family. She hacked her way into S.H.I.E.L.D. and then became an Inhuman, and because of her powers, she became the destroyer of worlds. Technically, it's not her fault, and she is a good person, but everything around it made her seem like a villain, so therefore I kind of added it, because one season she kind of became a vigilante slash villain. But she a badass. I love Daisy Johnson. And then we've got Leopold Fitz, who, if you've watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this Leopold Fitz is the Hydra version from the framework. It is Hydra Leopold Fitz, where he flattens his comb over and wears a suit, and not the Leopold Fitz that wears a cardigan. We love him, we miss him. Then we got District 3. We're going into the vampire era. We're going to the vampires in District 3. I've got Klaus Michelson. Do I need to say more? He's terrifying in the first few seasons of the Vampire Diaries, but in his own spin-off, the originals, I mean, he's still terrifying, but I feel like Elijah was worse, and Klaus kind of became a little bit nicer. His intentions were a bit more better, but still terrifying. He's a hybrid, so he's a werewolf, vampire. Technically, with his bloodline from his mum, he was a witch, but he just wanted his own pact. Then we've got Stefan. Before you guys say anything, oh, Stefan's so nice, I'm Team Stefan. Honey, he was a ripper. And that's who we're using today. We're bringing back Ripper Stefan, even though the picture isn't as terrifying. But that's who he is. He acts all innocent and charming, and then he rips your throat out. So, yeah, let's see how that goes. Then we go into the realm of the Enchanted Forest with District 4. Once upon a time, we have Rumpelstiltskin. I know he's old, he's ancient, he's basically deceased at this point, but all magic comes with a price, Diddy. And so I'm curious to see what deals maybe they will play, because Rumpelstiltskin, you make a deal with him, he owns you. And then the evil queen, she's just conniving and just like mischievous. And of course she has power, so poof, you're gone. She likes to do that. Or she rips your heart out. Also, Klaus Michelson does that too. We'll see how that unfolds, if that something happens between them two. Okay. Anyway, District 5. They're not from the same universe, but they both were possessed by demons. So we've got Sam Winchester from Supernatural. Yes, what season was it? I feel like it was a few seasons where Sam got possessed by a demon. I'm pretty sure it was like for majority of one season. I can't remember which one it was. But we have that one. Demon Sam Winchester. Also, he can fight. He's pretty good, like, resources and survival. And then we have Void Styles. Do I need to say any more? It's Void Styles from Teen Wolf. Best villain arc ever. Actually. Well, yeah. If you want... Octavia really has a good villain arc too. So I'm not sure who wins. Maybe I should do a ranking in another episode. But yeah, we've got Void Styles. And then District 6, my final district. I really wanted to put Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer in this somehow. And I forgot, but then I remembered. Dark Willow. She is in District 6. With her mischievous, her magic, her manipulation, her conniving skills. So, they are our champions. May the odds be ever in thy favor. Here we go. They're all alive. That sounds great. Daisy, Spike, and Rumple start fighting, but Spike runs away and Daisy kills Rumple. Oh, Rumple died so quick. Void Style kills Octavia with her own weapon. Nice. Evil Queen severely injures Leopold Fitz and then puts him out of his misery. Sam with a sword. Klaus finds a bow and some arrows. Clark dashes to the forest to avoid the bloodbath. Dark Willow finds a bag full of food. Why is there so many deaths in the first? It's like it barely hasn't even started. And oh, Rumple, Octavia. I really wanted to see them a little bit longer. I really wanted to see how that unfolded. Day 1. Stefan chases Void for over a mile before making the kill. Yeah, that sounds like Stefan. He will chase. But Void Styles is dead already? Dark Willow tends to Clark's wound. But why? Why? Girl, why? Don't defend Clark. But also, I guess, alliance. They will have a pretty good alliance. Windheader and Dark Willow. Yeah, that's survival instinct right there. Klaus tries to kill Spike, but Klaus tries to kill Spike, but he's able to escape. Good. Good, Spike. Survive. Evil Queen runs away from Daisy. Yeah. Spike, Stefan, Clark, and Daisy chase and kill Klaus? Why are they teaming up all of a sudden? Dark Willow and Evil Queen fall asleep holding hands. Oh, that's so cute. The two witches fall asleep holding hands. They probably would have done a protection spell then. Dark Willow chases Stefan for over a mile before making the kill. Daisy, Clark, and Spike are attacked by a herd of vicious dogs? What? Where did that come from? They're attacked by a herd of vicious dogs. Okay. Evil Queen receives healing ointment from a sponsor. That's nice of them. Clark shamelessly kills Spike while he's resting. Oh no, Clark, come on. Really? Well, I mean, if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. And like I said before, she does what she needs to survive, so... But Spike, when he's down already, that poor baby needs a sleep. Dark Willow poisons Evil Queen's drink, but Evil Queen knowingly switches drink and Dark Willow dies. That That's definitely a scene in Once Upon a Time. That exactly how it's played out. Yeah, poor Dark Willow. Daisy quietly hums in the night. Oh, honey. She has to hum herself to sleep. Daisy and what? What happened? Daisy is unable to convince Evil Queen to not kill her during their interaction. Clark receives water. Oh, water from a sponsor. Daisy... Girl, you're Quake. That's so funny. Because she does that quite a bit. Yeah, Daisy is a bit of a yapper, so that kind of makes some sense. She's a bit of a yapper. Evil Queen lets Clark into her campsite. Day 4. Clark chucks a spiked ball into Evil Queen's chest. Okay. Clark had a spiked ball. Fun. And now it's... Clark is the winner. The win-header always wins. Oh my goodness. That was so interesting and not what I expected. I was curious to see how it's going to unfold and what would happen, but I guess I'm not a fan of those websites. Maybe there's something else I should try. But now that I did this, I'm kind of curious to see do like a ranking system for them and see who comes out on top with, like, you know, maybe abilities versus speed and strategy, those kind of things, and we'll see who comes out on top. If you want to see that video, please let me know in the comments, and then I'll get onto it and we'll see if I can do it in the next couple of weeks. I also, if you haven't seen my videos before, I've just started creating and like challenging myself with a production where each month you will receive a new story to do with this overall small town charm. You get a mail of the short story with little trinkets and things, or you could just do an online digital version. All of my information will be in the description below, but also on Patreon. That's where you can see and kind of connect and immerse yourself in this short story. Yeah, it's been fun so far. I've only done 2 months. But yeah, and then I've got another video about Summerween recommendations, because now that it's spring in Australia, but it is also autumn and everyone loves Halloween because it is coming up. And so stick around for that. Make sure you subscribe, like, follow my socials for all information. Continue on this journey with me of pursuing my career as a filmmaker and photographer. And let's get this crazy journey on the way. Okay, guys, bye.